Hi Sarah, welcome to your TRX yoga workout. I'm going to start off at my feet with my blocks, which you remember I'm sure. All right, we're going to stretch out the feet before we go through our series of vinyasas. So I'm going to turn sideways so you can see the positioning of the block. As you can see, I'm sitting on my heels, my toes are curled under. I'm going to take the block, place it on top of my heels, and I'm going to sit back on it. I want to engage the core, pull my shoulder blades back, and reach the crown of my head toward the ceiling. I'll hold it here for about 5 to 10 breaths, or you can hold it for 2 minutes if you have a timer. And then I move on to the second stretch for my shins. So the first one was for my calves, and now I'm stretching out my shins. Now, I know you remember that you can place as much or as little of your toes on the block as you wish, depending on the intensity that you're seeking. If you can tolerate less foot on the block and more toes, it'll be more intense, you get more of a stretch in the shin. You'll also get the front part of your feet, okay? If it's too much, you know you can always slide it back, okay? Of the two stretches, I would say if you're going to do this stretch during pregnancy, I would stop doing this particular stretch at the end of your first trimester, okay? The first one, where you had the block, where you're sitting on the block, you can do that throughout your pregnancy, okay? And I would hold this for 5 to 10 breaths or 2 minutes, preferably 2 minutes, okay? And then I come on out of it. Now that my feet are stretched, I'm going to go into my vinyasas. So I start off in my child's pose, knees apart, big toes touching. I reach my arms out. I take a few cycles of breath here. And then I come up, curl my toes under, and reach into my downward facing dog. I'm stretching my heels back. I'll alternate bending my knees. From here, I press the heels back, lift the rib cage, engage the belly, drop the shoulders, and let my head hang heavy. And turn my head from one side to the other. And then I hold steady. From here, I inhale, high heel toe, and then I exhale and I take a half step forward, making sure my feet are equidistant and they are the same level. I inhale, take my right hand and grab hold of my left leg, either the calf, the ankle, the heel, bind by pulling the shoulder blades together, and I twist. Reaching into the right heel as well as the left heel. Pushing the ground away with my left palm. I inhale, and as I exhale, I release and switch sides. Now this pose, I can hold it for 3 to 5 breaths, nice and slow. Making sure I press through the heels, pull my belly in, avoid shifting from one side to the other. And remember to bind the shoulder blades. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, come back into downward facing dog. Now twists are poses that you would eliminate by the second trimester, okay? I go high heel toe, inhale, exhale, forward fold. Now the forward fold is fine during pregnancy throughout. You're just going to have to make accommodations for your belly. So of course you'll take your feet apart. Inhale, halfway lift, reach for the crown of the head, nothing's changed. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. And exhale, palms to heart center. So at this stage of your vinyasa, I'm going to finish my vinyasa here. You're going to continue your vinyasa. You'll go anywhere from 3 cycles to a total of 5 cycles. Always focusing on good posture, drawing the shoulder blades back, draw the belly in, reach the hips forward, zip the inner thighs, reach to the crown of the head and spread the toes. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold, so you're reaching forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, low plank. Keeping the shoulder blades squeezing towards each other. I slide my palms down. I inhale, squeeze my arms in, pull my shoulder blades together for my upward facing dog. When I go into upward facing dog, you know to keep your elbows close to you. Scoop the belly in, drag the hips forward, and pull the shoulder blades back, and lift the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now in your vinyasa, I would say by the end of your first trimester, you would modify the upward facing dog because it would put a lot of strain on your lower back. So you can go onto the knees, do a cat and cow stretch, and then come into downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Again, inhale. And as I exhale, I come up onto my high heel toes, and then I'm going to lower my knees to the ground and sit back. Okay? So at this point, you're going to go into your next pose, but it's going to be somewhat of a flow. You're going to go through a series of movements, starting from child's pose. So I'm going to walk my knees back. I grab hold of my strap. I'm just going to take a moment just to point out that the strap is halfway, okay? It's at the double yellow line, and you're going to keep it this way for a good portion of your workout. It's towards the end that you'll lengthen out the strap. So from here, I'm going to grab hold of the strap, center myself on my mat. My toes are pointed behind me, so my toes stay pointed when I sit back. I split the strap, and I'm back far enough that when I sweep my arms apart and lower my head, I can drop my head to the ground with my knees still on the ground and my bottom against my heels. So remember to take the knees apart because this is child's pose. And here I am, I'm stretching. Here I can start to roll my shoulder blades forward and back, just to start freeing up the shoulder girdle. I'm going to inhale, pull my shoulder blades back, and I'm going to come up onto my knees. Exhale, sweep my arms apart, lift my chest, lift my hips to open up the front side of my body. And then I exhale, I sweep my arms forward. I inhale. And as I exhale, I'm going to step my leg out to the side. I'm going to drop my left arm and sweep my whole upper body to the left. I'm going to inhale, come back center. Exhale, step back. Okay. Now, depending, if you wish, you can curl your toes under if it gives you a greater base of stability, if you wish. If not, keep the toes pointed. So then I inhale, step out. I exhale, sweep open, and twist. Inhale, come back center. Exhale, I step back in. Okay. And then from here I would inhale, and as I exhale, point my toes, sit back, take my knees apart, and go into my child's pose. That's your first flow. I would pretty much do that flow 3 to 5 times, and that's pretty much the rep range that I would like for you to do. And I want you to, when you go into each pose, I want you to take about 3 to 5 breaths per pose before you move on to the next pose, before you move on to the next pose. So this is the first flow, child's pose to the modified camel, the opening of the chest. So I was in child's pose, this one. I come up onto my knees, sweep my arms apart, lift my chest, reach my hips forward, to open up the chest for my modified camel. And then I come back with my arms in front, and I step out to one side to go into my lateral lunge with a twist. And then I come back, step in, do the same thing on the other side, lateral lunge with a twist. And then I come back center. Now, if you were doing this during pregnancy, I would allow for the lateral lunge with the twist up through the beginning of your second trimester. Once you are at your second trimester, you would eliminate the twists, okay? So from this point, I would inhale, come up onto my knees, starting up my second flow, exhale and stand. Okay. From here, I'm going to start off with my revolving lunges. So I'm going to step back. My knuckles are the same height as my shoulders, and I always want them there. I never want to come into my lunge or prepare for my lunge with my arms here or my arms down here. I want my knuckles in line with my shoulders. I'm looking straight ahead, standing up nice and tall, engaging my core the entire time. I'm going to inhale, step my right foot forward, and I'm in my revolving crescent lunge. So I'm going to twist. I come back center, and I push out of it. Remember to engage your bottom, because if you don't, you'll stumble. We'll go again. You can see that my knuckles are in line with my shoulders. Like I said before, you always want to start from this position. I inhale, and then I exhale, crescent lunge. And then I come back center, and I push out of it. I'll do that one more time. I step out, exhale, twist. Engaging through the hips to really stretch the front of my left hip. I come back. I push off of both the front heel and the back toes to come back. And then I go again on the left side, engaging through the core before I even start. My knuckles are in the right position. I step. I exhale. And I'm very careful to bind the shoulders in this position. The shoulders want to creep up, but I don't want that to happen, so I pull the shoulder blades back. I come back center, and I exhale, back into my position. Okay? Now from here, I'm going to step as if I'm going to go into a lunge, split my arms, head to knee pose. And I come back up. I step back. I'm going to step forward, head to knee pose, ripping the ground apart, engaging through the core, reaching my hips forward. And coming back, okay? Be mindful of the positioning of the neck. Don't mind me because my hair is just constantly in my face. And it just makes it difficult for me to be able to position my head just right. So I'm going to try to do it again. Step. So I won't go down as far because my hair does whip forward. And then I step back. I do the same thing on the other side. So this is like a prep. I'm going to combine the revolving lunge with head to knee pose. So I'm going to go back to my lunge. I'm going to step forward with my right leg. Here's my crescent lunge. I'm going to exhale, step back a little bit, split the arms apart. Head to knee pose. I come back up, step back completely. And then I go to the left side. Inhale, exhale, step into my lunge. Come back, step back a little bit, head to knee pose. And I come back up. And I step back. I would do those, that combo. I do about 5 to 8 reps of each, okay, because it's a shorter flow, okay? From this point, I'm going to inhale and exhale, and I'm going to step forward, okay? Now, we've never done a wide stance forward fold this way, but we can. So I'm going to lean forward, push my hips back, and stretch into my wide stance, forward fold. Okay, I'm going to slide my feet apart, bring my hips forward, pull my shoulder blades back. And then I'm going to bring myself back to my position. So my arms are slightly overhead, arms are slightly in front of my ears, and my feet are wide. I'm going to turn my left toes 90 degrees, and I'm going to go into my warrior two. Now the cool thing with the straps is I can pull the straps down and feel the engagement of my core. Okay? And then I'm going to come back, bring my hips underneath me, and I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to turn my toes, pull my straps down, and go into my warrior two. I can feel my hips scoop up underneath me, my ribs stack on top, shoulder blades, they're squeezing together. And this locks me into warrior two. And I come back. And I can go into my forward fold. Good. This is like taking a little break between warrior two. And I come back up, turn the foot, and I go into my warrior two. Paying close attention to where my shoulders are, bring my hips underneath, and feel the ribcage stack. I come back, I go to the other side, shoulders, ribs, hips. Good. And then I come back, and then I go into my wide stance forward fold. Good. The strap locks me into position. It's a safe position. And I can do this throughout pregnancy, all the way up to delivery. From here, I'm going to turn my head from side to side. I can let my shoulders roll forward. I can roll them back, turn my head from side to side. Good. And then from here, I'm going to come back up and stand nice and tall and walk my feet in. Okay. Now those two, that little combo flow, I'd like you to work on 5 to 8 reps. Okay. The goal on all of your poses is to do about 15 reps, okay, per set. And you're basically doing one giant flow, but I want you to work your way up to 15. So a good place to start would be like 3 to 5 or 3 to 4, and then gradually work your way up to where you're doing 5 to 10, and then from there, from 10 to 15, okay? All right, so from here, we're gonna go into another flow. This one is awkward pose. So my arms are out in front, just like I would be getting ready to do my revolving crescent lunge. Okay, and this is another one which we typically turn the other way to do it, but I want, since you're already facing in this direction, I want you to see that you can do them in either direction. So I'm standing nice and tall, and standing. I'm going to inhale, come up into my high heel toe, and my feet are together. I'm going to exhale, I'm pressing into the strap, and I'm going into my awkward pose. I'm on the balls of my feet. I'm going to slowly lower to my heels, reach my knees forward. I'm going to sweep my arms behind me, lift my hips into my camel. Inhale, and as I exhale, sweep my arms forward, drop my hips, rock back to my toes, keep my ribs in, come up, and lower my heel. From here, I can go into a single leg stand. And then I will do it again. So I go inhale, awkward pose. Exhale, lower. Push into the strap, my shoulders are down. Dropping to the heel, reaching my knees to the ground. I'm practically already on the ground with my knees. And then I inhale, lift, sweep my hips forward, close the ribs, open up into my camel, a little bit more. And then I exhale, come back. rock back onto my heels, come up on the balls of my feet. I lower, and then I lift to go into my single leg stand. Good. I'll do it one more time on each leg. Inhale, high heel toe. Ribs are in, belly's in. Exhale, I come down into my awkward pose. This works your quads tremendously, and your core, and your back muscles. I lower to my knees. And this is why you want to stretch your feet out in the beginning, because you're doing a lot of footwork. I inhale, reach my hips forward. Once I reach the height of the extension of the hip, I then go into my thoracic bridge. I come back. Exhale, rock. Come up into high heel toe. Lower my heels. And then I go into my single leg stand, which is like a modified warrior three. I have my back knee bent because I'm close to the wall and my strap is short. And then I go once again. Inhale. My core is engaged. I exhale. Squeeze the thighs together. Keep reaching the hip forward. And then I inhale, lift, extend my hips. A great stretch for the quad. And then I go into my thoracic bridge. Pinching my shoulder blades back so I'm not splitting my rib cage. Inhale, sit back, rock back. Exhale, to stand. Drop my heel. And then I go into my single leg stand. The arm work with straps are awesome because they position your shoulders exactly where they need to be. Because I know you have a tendency to bring your shoulders up. This will remind you to keep the tension in the strap so that your shoulder blades are pulling down and strengthening these muscles between the shoulder blades at the base of the shoulder blade to help really draw and strengthen and improve your posture. Okay? So at this point, I'm going to grab my straps and I'm going to pull them on. I'm going to have a seat. I'm going to lay on my back. I'm going to place my heels in the strap. Okay, like I'm wearing a slingback sandal. My arms are at my side. I'm going to go into reclining happy baby, right? So I'm going to lift my hips, turn my feet, open them up, pull the strap apart, bring it back together, and lower my hip. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to lift my hips. So my ribs are closed here. My hips are lifted, so I have a little pelvic tilt, and I keep the ribs closed as I lift onto my shoulder blades. I'm going to pull the strap apart, bend my knees, pull them towards my shoulders, so I have to really use my arms to make that happen. And then I reach, and then I bring the strap back again. Okay. And then I lower my hip. I'll do it one more time. Inhale, tip the pelvis, lift my hips, exhale, split the strap, and pull wide. Inhale, reach. Lengthen the back of the neck. And as I exhale, bring the legs together and lower to the ground. And then I bend my knees and I come on up. The rep range is the same. I'm still looking for 3 to 5, 5 to 8, maybe 8 to 10, and then 10 to 15. Okay? It's going to take you a number of weeks to get there, so don't rush the process. I would say stay at 3 to 5 reps per pose with about 5 to 10 breaths of each pose for, I would say about like 2, maybe 3 weeks, just to build the strength. And then from that point, start adding a couple of like 1 to 2 reps every time you come to this workout. Okay? The next pose is going to be your crow. So I'm going to spin around. As you know, place your ankles into the strap. Watch for the proper positioning of the strap so the strap doesn't crisscross. I'm going to roll over. Onto my elbows, okay? From here, I'm going to push back onto my knees and walk back onto my hands. This is the only pose where you will be on your palms, okay? So from here, as you can see, I'm getting pretty close to the wall, all right? So I have full control of my movement. So my palms are underneath my shoulders. I'm going to shoot my shoulders forward, and I'm going to corkscrew the eye of the elbow forward. That's going to help me pull my rib cage in. I'm going to round my back like I'm doing a cat stretch. I'm going to inhale round, scoop the belly in, engage my pelvis, and I'm going to do a prep. I'm going to hover and hold just like this. And then I'm going to come back down. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to inhale, hover, exhale, to come back down. Inhale, exhale, hover, inhale, and exhale. So you notice how I did that the first time I did inhale, came up, exhale, came down. And then this time I inhaled, exhale, came up, inhale, hold it, exhale, lower. So I'm trying to lengthen my time in the hover because that's the prep. From the prep, you know, I would work on that one till I could do about 8 to 10 breaths in the hover before I started going elbow to knee, okay? The progression from that point would be elbow to knee, one leg at a time. And I'd want to be able to hold my knee to my elbow or to my arm for 10 breaths per leg. And I'd want to do about 3 to 5 reps of that one before I made the progression, made the jump to crow, okay? So the second progression, when I said knee to elbow, it looks like this. So the first progression, I inhale, exhale, come up, I hold it here. I'm breathing, taking my breaths. When I'm able to do my 10 breaths, I go knee, hold it. I'm aiming for 10 breaths. And then I come back. I go knee, hold it. I'm aiming for 10 breaths. And I come back. I go again, knee, hold it. Work towards the 10 breaths. I come back. Knee, hold it. Pushing the arm into the knee into the arm. And then I come down. Okay? From that point, then I can safely progress to my crow. Now, as you know, crow, my elbows will be bent. So the progression that you just did is harder, I think, than resting your knees on your triceps for crow. The only difference is, in order to get into the crow position, you have to strengthen through your upper body so you don't collapse when the knees do make contact with the arm. So I go into my hover, so I'm going to go through the progressions. The hover, the knee, and then the double knee with the bent elbows. So I inhale, exhale, so I'm in my hover, and then I'm going to go knee to elbow, hold it here, and then I'm going to go knee to elbow, hold it here. A good progression would be bend the elbows, knee to elbow, hold it here, knee to elbow, hold it here, and then both knees. You actually have to pull your knees into your elbows into your knee, so that you can go into your crow. And if you're feeling strong enough, you can drop your straps for crow. All right, so then from that point, we can go into our headstand, which we've been practicing, which we have been practicing when you were here. So I'm going to go back into my position. Since I'm already here, when you are in starting your second trimester, to get into the straps is difficult to roll over onto your belly. So I'm going to show you the alternate way to get into the straps safely from second trimester on. So I want to make sure that my straps are split. I'm going to slide one foot in, slide the other foot in. So I'm ready for my headstand. From here, I'm going to make a basket with my hands. I'm going to drop my head against my thumb and push into the basket. My head is not really rested heavily on the ground. It's rested on my arms. So I'm going to make a little tiny basket like this, okay? So my head rests more on the wrist than anything else. So the back of the crown of my head is resting in my little basket, but my head is resting on my wrist, and you'll see it here. So it's a small opening, it's not that big. I'm already pulling on the straps, curling my toes towards my nose, pulling my shoulder blades down and together. I'm going to hover, just like I did for crow. So I can feel the weight on my forearms. My head is not touching the ground. And then I come back down. The progression from that point would be hover to lift, hover to lift. Now when I hover, I curl my toes toward my nose. When I lift, I point my toes and pull my hips back. Okay? From that point, I can lift, I can split, I can plank, I can come back, I can plank. It's almost like doing dolphin. And rest. That one I would work towards at least trying to work on 2 at a time and start to string them together, those reps, to where you can do 5 to 6, work your way up to 8, work your way up to 10, work your way up to 15, okay? And so that would be the end of your flow, and the way that we round out the session is to do a block bridge. Now, headstand and crow, provided it doesn't make you feel dizzy or nauseous throughout pregnancy. You can actually do them throughout pregnancy, okay? So just keep that in mind. All right, and now I go into my block bridge. So I'm going to lay back. My block is going to be flat. This is a 4x6 block. I'm going to inhale, and as I exhale, I go into a pelvic tilt. I then brace the abdomen and the rib cage to lift up, making sure that I use my bottom and not my back to go into the bridge. And then I slide the block under the sacrum, and I rest my weight on the block. And you know block bridge, but it's always good to kind of go over it because there may be some points, some little pointers that you forget. You can bring the arms out to the side. You can go into goalpost arms. And you want to hold this pose for at least 3 to 5 minutes because it takes your nervous system at least 15 minutes just to clue into what you're actually doing. It takes at least 2 minutes for your parasympathetic nervous system to kick in. So that's why usually restorative poses are at least 2 minutes, okay? And so you inhale into the ribcage and exhale. And just let it all go. Put all the weight into the block. Reach the back of the neck to lengthen. You can rock the head from side to side just a few times just to relax through the neck and the shoulders. Take another deep breath in. Expand the belly, exhale. And one more time. Deep breath in. And exhale. Then I gently lift the hips, making sure that it's my bottom that's lifting and not my back. So I go into a pelvic tilt on the block. Squeeze my bottom to lift, and then slide the block out. And then I slowly lower the hips to the ground. And from here I inhale. And as I exhale, I roll to one side. I inhale. And as I exhale, I slowly press myself up into a seated position. From here, I can go to windshield wipers, or I can can go into Baddha Konasana, okay, which is a great decompression from the back bend, because that's what block bridge is, okay? Block bridge is a pose that I chose because you can do it throughout pregnancy. It doesn't matter. It actually helps to alleviate a lot of daily aches and pains you'll feel as your belly expands and the upper body starts to curl forward due to the changes, the physiological changes in the body, okay, and the physical changes in the body, okay? So that completes your TRX yoga session. You know, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to text, call me, or email me. Sarah, we miss you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. All right, honey.